All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are digging into something that, let's be honest, affects every single one of us, our food. Specifically, we're looking at South Korea's absolutely massive plan to reboot its entire agricultural industry. So yeah, let's get into it.
So, why this question? Well, it's because the way we've been farming for, centuries is basically hitting a wall. And the answer, more and more, isn't found in the soil, it's being found in the cloud. We're talking about a total transformation. And believe me, it is happening a lot faster than you think.
So, what's really driving this colossal change? It's not just one thing. It's more like a perfect storm of crises all hitting at the same time, and they're putting this immense pressure on South Korea's ability to feed itself.
Okay, let's break this triple threat down. First, you've got a demographic collapse. The farming population is literally aging out. Second, you have climate shocks, which are making harvests completely unpredictable. And third, global supply chains are, as we've all learned, more fragile than ever. Look, any one of these is a huge problem, but all three together, that's a full-blown crisis.
Just look at this number for a second. 49.8%. That is basically half of all Korean farms are being run by senior citizens. Think about what that means. All that traditional, hands-on knowledge that's been passed down for generations, it's on the brink of just disappearing. There's almost no one left to take the reins.
And this whole thing connects directly to your wallet. You see, climate change isn't just some abstract environmental issue. It's an economic one that shows up right on your grocery receipt. When a drought hits or a flood, crop yields fall and prices go up. There's even a name for it now, climateflation. And it's not coming, it's already here.
And the data? Well, it paints a really stark picture. South Korea is one of the world's biggest food importers, which means it has one of the lowest food security indexes among all developed nations. This leaves the country incredibly vulnerable to any little hiccup in global trade, whether it's a pandemic or a war.
So, the takeaway here is that this perfect storm, it's really signaling the end of an era. The traditional methods, the ways that have fed us for centuries, they just can't keep up with these new, fast-moving challenges. It's simply not enough anymore.
For generations, farming has all been about experience, right? It's about a farmer's intuition, knowing the land, feeling the weather in their bones. And it's a whole system built on deep, personal knowledge and a lot of manual labor. But here's the catch. Its greatest strength is now its biggest weakness.
I mean, what happens when a farmer who's worked the exact same piece of land for 50 years suddenly faces a drought or a heat wave they've never ever seen before? All of that experience, that lifetime of knowledge, suddenly becomes a lot less reliable. And that's the fundamental problem we're dealing with right now.
So, if a lifetime of experience isn't enough, then what's next? Well, the answer isn't more experience, it's data. This is where we see agriculture's big tech reboot, a huge, fundamental shift away from human intuition and towards artificial intelligence.
Now, it's really important to understand that this isn't just about sticking a sensor in a field. The first wave of smart farming was all about remote control. Turning on the sprinklers with your phone. But the real revolution, the game changer, is this second generation, what we call data agriculture. This is where AI analyzes enormous amounts of information and then makes automated decisions all by itself to maximize productivity. And this quote from Park Han-dong, he's the CEO of an agri-tech company, just nails it. He's on the front lines building these tools, and he says experience-based farming just isn't valid anymore in a lot of cases. He argues that technology is no longer a nice-to-have, it's an absolute necessity for survival.
And look, this isn't science fiction. We're talking about real tech that's being deployed right now. Autonomous tractors from companies like Gent that can plow a field all on their own. Drones that use AI to spot crop disease way before a human eye ever could. And fully robotic vertical farms that grow produce in stacks, sometimes right in the middle of a city.
So this tech reboot, it isn't just a bunch of cool startups doing their own thing. No, this is being elevated to a new national mission. The South Korean government is now treating agriculture with the same strategic importance it gives to, say, semiconductors or shipbuilding. It's that serious.
And the government's plan is built on these four massive reforms.
They're basically rewriting the rules on how farmland can be used. They're modernizing the entire rice industry, helping farms transform into actual innovative businesses, and redesigning whole rural areas to support this new high-tech vision.
And yep, they are putting serious money behind all this. You can see the investment is flowing into 3 key areas: expanding smart farming across the country, funding new R&D in food tech and green bio, and boosting K-food exports. The immediate goal? To get smart farming share of production up from 16% to 20%.
But here's what's really interesting. This isn't just a technological plan or an economic one, it's a cultural plan too. The goal isn't just to save the farms, it's to completely reimagine and revitalize life in the countryside itself. A huge part of this is what you could call a massive youth movement. The government has set this incredibly ambitious goal: recruit 5,000 new young farmers in a single year. So the question is, how in the world are they going to pull that off? What with a really powerful package of incentives. We're talking a monthly stipend for the first 3 years, access to startup loans, getting first dibs on renting farmland, help with housing, and even making the rules more flexible so you can work a second job. It's a comprehensive plan to make farming a viable and, frankly, an attractive career again.
They're even changing the definition of what it means to be part of a rural community. They have this new concept called the lifestyle population. This doesn't just count the people who live there full-time, it also includes tourists, commuters, people with second homes. The idea is to bring economic energy back from everyone who engages with these areas, not just the permanent residents. It's a pretty clever way to think about it.
Okay, so let's bring all this home. What is this massive agricultural reboot? This whole blend of AI, government policy, and cultural change, what does it actually mean for you and, the food on your plate?
At the end of the day, all of this, it's driving towards one single goal: creating a food system that is smarter, stronger, and way more resilient. A system that can handle the next big drought or the next global supply chain crisis without causing shortages or sending prices through the roof. It's really all about creating stability and security for everyone.
This great reboot proves it. Farming is no longer just farming. It's becoming a full-fledged tech industry. And that leaves us with one final big question to chew on. As our fields become filled with data and our farmers become tech operators, are we truly ready for what that means for our food, for our culture, and for our future?